Hi guys, I hope you're all well and welcome to episode 110 of the James Layton Fitness Podcast. So within this podcast we'll be discussing what you should be focusing on, whether it's fat loss or muscle building, because often when new clients get in contact with me, they're trying to achieve both goals at the same time. And you may be in a similar position. You want to build more muscle and also lose body fat. But it's really critical that we break this up into two blocks of time essentially. We focus on a block of time on either fat loss or muscle building, and then once we've achieved that goal, we then focus on another block of time on the opposite goal. And the reason why is, for us to achieve fat loss, we need to be within an energy deficit. So basically burning more calories than we're consuming, whereas within the muscle building phase we need to be in the energy surplus over a chronic period of time and ultimately eating more calories than we're burning. And as such, if you're focusing on both goals at the same time, you're just going to end up spinning your wheels. Now keep in mind, if you're an absolute beginner or returning from a layoff, you can achieve fat loss and muscle gain simultaneously to a small degree. However, once you're beyond the beginner phase, and in most other circumstances, you really want to be focusing on one goal at a time, otherwise you're just going to end up getting nowhere. So how do you know what you should be focusing on? The best way to go about this is to let your body fat percentage dictate whether you focus on fat loss or muscle building. The reason why this is critical is because within a muscle building phase there's always going to be a small amount of fat gain, just because you're in a chronic energy surplus over a period of time, and therefore starting from a leaner starting position is a far better place to be, just because there's going to be some fat gain within the muscle building phase, and by starting from a leaner position it basically gives you some room for fat gain. So what I would suggest is, if you're over 15% body fat for a male and over 17% body fat approximately for a female, I would focus on fat loss first. Get at least 15% body fat, if not even lower than this for a male. And if you're a female, focus on getting to 17% body fat, if not lower, and then you can transition into the muscle building phase. It's always usually better to focus on fat loss first, just because within the muscle building phase there's always going to be some fat gain, and starting from a leaner starting position just gives you a little bit of a buffer to gain some body fat. Additionally, this is also important because it allows you to spend longer within the muscle building phase. If you're, for example, a male and 20% body fat, you're just going to gain body fat on top of this. But in addition to that, you're going to have to quickly go back into cutting cycles very quickly, because you're starting from a higher body fat percentage. You'll have to go gaining fat loss, back and forth, and you're not really making any long-term progress. But if you can get under 15% body fat, you can then spend a decent amount of time within the muscle building phase and therefore actually make some decent progress within that phase. And that's really the goal, is you're basically having cycles within fat loss and muscle building, but make sure that they're not too short. You don't want to be doing 2 weeks fat loss, 2 weeks muscle building. It needs to be several months and focused on one objective, then you can transition to the next objective. So that's the best way to approach it. Instead of using a more subjective opinion of, oh yeah, I think I should focus on fat loss or muscle building phase, use your body fat percentage to actually determine what you should do. If you're unsure of your body fat percentage, just an approximate body fat percentage is fine, or look online and find some pictures of body fat percentage and just compare approximately what you are in comparison to them. So that's my suggestion, focusing on getting to a leaner starting position, so approximately 15% body fat, if not lower than that for males, and approximately 17% body fat, if not lower for females, and then transition into the muscle building phase. So hopefully that's been useful. If you're still yet to download my free ebook, How to Set Up a Nutrition Plan, if you go to James Layton, Layton fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page called free ebook, and you can download that immediately. I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you very much for listening.